Why are we always trying to fit in? I mean, some of us just try, and let's face it, we're not too successful. Hopefully after this conversation, you'll be able to fit in just right.
Stars shining bright above me. Night breezes seem to whisper sycamore tree. Dream a little dreamer.
Thank you for joining us, J.ANGUEIRA. This is Monday Conversation, and today I want to have a very important conversation with you guys. I want to have a conversation about trying to fit in. I mean, it's human nature that we want to be needed, that we want to be accepted, and no one likes to be that person on the sideline, and I get that. But you know, this whole thing about trying to be accepted is actually tiring. You know, it does take a toll on you after some time. And to be honest with you, I've been trying to, be accepted ever since I was little, right? We were always a low middle class family. My mom always struggled. She had 2 to 3 jobs at the same time. But we did have a decent sized home, right? Our home wasn't like like the income my mom was making. And the reason for that is because my mom used to clean a landlord's other houses. So the landlord actually did hook up my mom with that house that we grew up in. But right now, as you may know, the school you go to depends on the district that you live in. And unfortunately, right, for me growing up, the house that we lived in was borderline to either going to the middle class elementary school or the high class elementary school. And unfortunately, your boy fell under the high class elementary school. So when I went to school, all these kids, they had money, all their parents, at least their parents had money. They were doctors, lawyers, I mean, you name it. And it was hard for me to try to fit in, right? Because there was only a handful of minorities in that school, including me and my sister. So it was hard for me to fit in. And it wasn't that I didn't make friends. I did have friends. And don't get me wrong, growing up in that elementary school, man, I loved it, right? But it was hard for me to fit in because I couldn't keep up with them, right? My mom's income couldn't keep up with their parents' incomes, right? So it was always hard for me to try to fit in with them. So, and then when I went into middle school, when I went into junior high, all the districts came together in that one middle school. So for me, it was more of an eye-opening experience because I was able to, have classes with people that I could relate to, right? I had classes with people that were in the same level, financially. Their parents were in the same level as mine. So I was pumped, right? But the thing is that I was in that school and I was still trying hard to fit in with that type of group, right? Because since I was already coming from that high class elementary school, I had to prove to them that I was just like them, that, we were going through the same struggles. And then, just keeping this long story short, going through high school, this is, me making all my lifelong friends. And some of them stayed, some of them fell off the radar, but the ones that did stay, I didn't have to pretend to be someone else, right? I was able to be myself, and that was kind of, that was good for a change, right? To be myself and not having to pretend. And then, going off to college, I mean, that was a whole different story, right? When I went into college, it was a little bit different because as you guys may know, I'm a high school dropout when I got my GED, so college was super hard for me. So when I was in college, I was still trying to fit in as well, right? And I'm sitting here trying to fit in with them, but what I did realize is that I wasn't meant to fit in, right? I was meant to stand out. Remember, we're all put on this earth for a specific reason. We all have unique DNA. We all have a unique purpose in this life. There's no one out there right now that is meant to do what you're supposed to do. There's no one out there that's going to contribute what you're supposed to contribute to the planet. So right now, from me to you, the only way for you to fit in is to not fit in. Be bold enough to be you. Be bold enough to show the world who you truly are. Thank you once again for tuning in. I hope this video really encourages you to be yourself, to be bold, to not be afraid to stand out. If you know anyone that could benefit from this video as well, share it with them. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.